Hey everybody, SightlessSenshi here. It's been a long time since my last upload. I've been really busy with work. It's just kind of consuming a lot of time and soul. Um, but I figured I would do a video for y'all answering some of the common questions I get about being blind. For all of you wondering where my Mortal Kombat 11 content is, don't worry, it is coming. I'm just getting used to the game before I start throwing some content at the wall and seeing what sticks. But yeah, I definitely want to answer some common questions about blindness that I get on a lot of my videos, Reddit posts, etc., etc. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and go through some of the let's call it the top 10 questions I get about blindness. So here to provide the questions is my awesome fiance Kelsey. So hit me with some questions, Kelsey.
All right. How long have you been blind?
How long have I been blind? Well, I'm 28 now, so about 28 years. So I've been blind since I was born. That has never really changed, to be honest with you. It's a degenerative retinal condition. I've always been blind, is the short answer to that.
Why are you blind?
All right, question numero dos. Why am I blind? So that is a condition called LCA, or Leber's congenital amaurosis. I like the name of it because congenital sounds funny. Anyway, basically what it is a condition that causes your retinas to degenerate. So basically, my retinas started out shitty and then got worse. So now basically there's no function to them. Basically, they're just not really usable at all. Contrary to what a lot of people might assume with a lot of blindness, where they kind of assume there are other issues going on there. My brain is totally fine. Where my eyes connect to the brain, totally fine. Everything's good with the brain. It's just the retinas on the eyes themselves that are actually degenerated. And yeah, that's what causes my blindness. It's not a very common blindness, but it definitely does happen.
And how do you manage your wardrobe with colors and designs and such?
Okay, so I get this one a lot. How do I manage my wardrobe? How do I know what I'm wearing? Or a lot of times I'll get people asking me in videos, do you know you're wearing such and such shirt or something? Like, sometimes I'll wear a Carly Rae Jepsen shirt and people will be like, oh, does he know he's wearing Carly Rae Jepsen, or does he think he's wearing Slayer or something like that, you know? And sadly, I don't have a Slayer shirt. I used to, but it had holes in it. Anyway, how do I manage my wardrobe? That's a good question. With, like, shorts and pants and stuff, that's pretty easy because you can just feel them apart. With shirts, what I actually do, it's all really tactile. Like, here, let me grab a shirt actually, and let me show y'all. This is kind of interesting. It's really, really tactile. So with a lot of shirts, the designs are painted onto them. So like this one, for instance, you can feel, or I can feel, and I guess you could if you were here touching my clothing. Yeah, touch this shirt. You can feel that there's paint on it, and I can feel specifically like the design. Not really detailed, like I couldn't tell you exactly what it is, but I'm familiar with this specific paint pattern, so I know also the lack of sleeves on this one. I know this is my Cannibal Corpse shirt because that's what I'm used to feeling for this shirt is this paint and these lack of sleeves. So I'm just gonna feel this shirt for a second. Hang on. But yeah, no, this is it's basically a matter of paint. Basically, I can feel the design. Also, the different fabrics, like the materials are different. Like this shirt, even if I couldn't feel the paint, it has a different fabric feeling than this shirt, which is I know for a fact my No Cowbell shirt because I can feel the paint across the chest here, and then I can feel this fabric. So it's just a matter of getting used to what shirts I have. At first, I do have to try and remember what they are. Sometimes ask Kelsey to remind me, hey, what shirt is this? But then after a while, you really get used to knowing, like, hey, I know exactly what shirt I have right now. And yeah, that's how I manage wardrobe stuff.
Cool. What was your education like? Did you go to a special school? What did you learn for reading and writing?
All right, that's a good one. What was the education like? So a lot of people wonder if I went to a school for the blind. I did not. While I did go to some summer camps at the School for the Blind, that was mostly just for fun and because I just liked raising hell at blind camp. I do have a video about that, and I should make more of those because they were pretty funny.
Oh, yeah.
Those were great times. But as far as school, I did go to public school. So I went to school here in Texas, in a town called Buda, which is just south of Austin. My mom is actually an English teacher. She was an AP English teacher in the high school in our county. So yeah, I went to basically totally normal school like everybody else. As far as reading and writing, I learned Braille. at a very young age. Actually, my parents wanted to enroll me in like Braille classes and such before even getting me into like normal school because they wanted to make sure there was no chance of me falling behind anybody. And so I was actually starting to learn Braille when I was like between 2 and 3 years old. And so by the time I was in kindergarten, I was actually already on a 6th grade reading level, which led to some complications because they didn't have enough Braille books to keep up with how fast I was reading. Which that's a funny story in and of itself. But yeah, so I learned Braille for reading and writing, and I learned to use some screen reader software like on the computer, like on a traditional computer, so that I could use regular computers as well. And yeah, that's basically what I went through with school, but it was essentially just normal school with everybody else. I wasn't like at a special blind school or anything like that.
Cool. And how do you use the internet?
Oh, I get this one a lot. How do I use the internet? Moreover, what I usually get is not how do I use the internet. What I usually get is, oh, I would have believed you were blind, but then you responded to these comments, so I know you're faking. That's usually what I get. Well, let me show you how I actually can use the internet without, surprising as it may seem, without faking. So this is what I use. This is called a Braille note. I also have a screen reader on my phone, but that's basically just a thing that reads the screen out loud on the phone. Anyway, this is a Braille note computer. So you can see that pretty clearly, yeah?
Yep.
So these are the keys for typing. I type in Braille with these keys, and then this is backspace, space, and enter. Then right here, what we have are this is the Braille display. These are Braille cells, and basically these are a network of pins that go up and down. And they just, anything that is printed onto a page is just raised up in Braille here, because it's all code ultimately. So it's just a matter of what is it translated into, print or Braille, and this just knows to interpret all code as Braille. And when I type, then post to like Reddit or YouTube or something, then it turns that into print, and everyone else can see it, because it's ultimately just an output, not really a matter of, what's actually, like the input doesn't really matter. The output's going to be universally just translated into whatever you're reading it on. So yeah, I use this Braille computer. It also can fold out. Let me do that carefully here so this doesn't break off. Into a touch screen, so I can use it as a tablet and type in Braille on that if I want to type quicker and faster, and quicker and faster are the same thing. If I want to type quicker and quieter is what I meant. So that's what that's for. And then I scroll it with these keys on the bottom here, and that scrolls the display, kind of like a scroll wheel on a mouse, I guess would be a good parallel for that. You can see it's an Android-powered device here based on these little symbols. But yeah, it's just a Braille computer. That's what I read on, and that's what I type on. You can see why this probably made me pretty comfortable with using a fight stick, actually. It's very fight sticky.
That's a good point.
It is, actually. I just realized that right now.
I believe it.
Revelations, yo. So yeah, this is what I use when you're wondering, like, hey, is he really blind? How's he using the internet? It's a fake. Quickly to r/quit your bullshit. No, this is a Braille computer. It does exist, and screen readers, which like basically just read out loud the text on a computer screen, those exist as well. I have that on my let me grab this really quick. I have a Mac computer. And that has a screen reader on it. I don't really have it on right now, so I can't really show you. But yeah, it's just basically a normal Mac. You can see that. And it will just talk out loud what's on the screen. And I type in traditional keyboard style. I can feel the keyboard, so I know where to type. And if I really want to type in Braille, I can actually USB my Braille computer to this Mac and use it as a way to input on this computer. So yeah, that's how I use the internet.
Cool. What if you poured this much time into a musical instrument?
Oh, I love this one. I get this all the time because people assume, I guess, if you're playing video games that you must not do anything else ever. Like, with your whole life, just nothing but video games and vigorous masturbation. They never said that. I don't know why I took it there. No, so people ask me, I've seen this on, like, the video I did with Vice News on HBO. The YouTube video, there were like so many comments. Oh, can you imagine if this guy poured all this time into a musical instrument instead of just video games? Or like, what if he had put this much effort into a musical instrument instead of just learning to play video games? Well, luckily for those people who really are concerned with how I spend my own personal time, I did learn how to play a musical instrument. It's a harmonica, bitches. So I hope that answers that.
And how many years of guitar and like operatic vocal lessons did you take?
That too. So I also took years and years of guitar lessons, operatic vocal lessons so I can do heavy metal without hurting my throat. Taught myself the piano. I used to play the saxophone in middle school. Can play an ocarina decently. So I think that's enough musical instruments. I'm also learning the accordion. And I hope that's enough. Like, those of you who leave those comments, get with me and let me know when I've finally done enough. Because I'm so tired.
No, it's not enough. You must do more.
Damn it! I'm so sleepy. I stay up at 4 a.m. learning concertos amongst the accordion so that people will love me. Love me, Dad. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hey, look, a puppy.
Yeah, he's so cute. And
I play him like a musical instrument too. Bork, 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 bork. Anyway, go on.
Why do you wear a watch?
Why do I wear a watch? Because I like fucking with you. No, it's actually... it's an elaborate ploy. It's a James Bond watch. That's how I connect to, like, MI6. No, it's actually... A lot of people ask, like, well, if he's blind, why is he wearing a watch? Like, is he really blind? What's the trick? People are ready for tricks. Like, everyone thinks I'm tricking them. But no, it's a Braille watch, yo. Check this out. So, like...
Yeah, if you want to take
Can you
it
see me,
off
like,
and-
fold it up, though, like that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll bring it to the camera. I'll give it to the camera so you can see it. But yeah, I raise it up like this, and then I feel the numbers and shit, and you can see that it's Braille. Here, let me, hang on. I got big hands. Here, show them this. It's dirty as fuck right now. I'm sorry.
That's alright.
But yeah, pop it open.
Fuck, which one do you pop open?
Jesus.
Bottom.
Don't break my watch.
But yeah, if you can see the...
It has raised dots on it, so I can feel what stuff is what, and that's how I tell time with that. It's really useful, because they also make talking watches, where you push a little button and it goes, the time is 3:15 p.m., or whatever the hell time it is.
No, it only says 3:15 ever.
That would be so, yeah, like, no matter what time it is, like, it's midnight, the time is 3:15 p.m. That would be awful, but, like, that's so obtrusive in meetings, like, you can't really control the volume on them and stuff like that, and contrary to popular belief, blind people do work at jobs with people, and so, like, it's awkward to check the time, and I've been in meetings where people will check their time, and it's like, you know, big corporate meeting, and then suddenly, the time is 3:15 p.m., and like, oh, I wonder who's bored in this room right now, must be the blind guy, you know? So for me, it's a lot easier to just be able to discreetly under the table, or even on the table, just with my watch, just boop, check the time, it's 4:07, boop, you know, and it's like, it's so much quieter, and for me, it's just much more comfortable. So I've had this watch, or a Braille watch in general, since I was about, not this exact one, but I've used a Braille watch since I was like 11 years old, and I don't see myself graduating to like a smart watch or talking watch, because it's old school, and I kind of like it that way.
Cool.
Yeah.
Why do you have tattoos if you can't see them?
Now that's a good question. Now that's for the ladies. No, I'm kidding. So why do I have tattoos if I can't see them? That's a good one, actually. A lot of people wonder, because I do have tattoos. You can see I've got this Sailor Jupiter tattoo, and that's just one of a couple. But a lot of people ask, why do you have them if you can't see them? Well, two reasons. One, I actually can feel them. This one is actually so intensely done that I can actually feel the raised up lines on my skin. I've had this for over a year now. Couple years now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can still, like, it has never gone down. I just always feel it, and I really like it. It was done really deep, so I think there's a little bit of scarring under it, and I can feel it, and I like that. But also, even if I can't see it, I know it's there. Like, I can't see a lot of things, and I still know they're there. I can't see my shirt, but I'm still wearing one. You want me to change that? You want to change that, viewers? Just bust out some music, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, no, even if I can't feel it or see it, like some of my tattoos I can't feel, like this one, for instance, can't really be felt, but I know it's there, and that's special to me, because I can still show it to other people can still see it, and be like, hey, that's cool, why do you have that tattoo? And I can explain what it is, or why it's meaningful to me. It still shows off my fandom. That's why I don't just wear, like, plain black shirts or, like, you know, unadorned shirts or things like that also. It's because even if I can't see it, I can still demonstrate to people the things I enjoy or the things I value. So yeah, that's my tattoos.
Awesome. How do you watch TV and movies?
And the big question, how do I watch TV and movies? So, that's an interesting one. A lot of movies nowadays, and even some TV shows, have what's called audio description or descriptive audio. And what that basically is it's a track that you turn on in the language tracks, kind of like changing the language for a movie or something. But instead, it still plays the normal movie audio, but there's like a narrator over it that describes what's happening whenever people aren't talking. So it might describe, like, the main character charges through a door. He doesn't see that the villain is standing behind him or something like that. And that way I know what's happening as it's happening. Or even sometimes like a little before it happens, so that way I can anticipate the sounds of what's happening and kind of enjoy those same sound effects and such. Otherwise, what I'll do is sometimes I'll watch TV or movies with sighted people, like my fiance, and they'll describe to me what's happening. And when neither of those options are available, I'll just watch them and listen to the audio and enjoy it and get what I can from it. And if I'm really confused about what's happening, I can look up plot summaries online, like on Wikipedia or whatever, and see, like, okay, so when he made that noise or when they said that thing, that was revealing that this character was doing this thing. And so sometimes it takes a little extra work if I don't have a sighted person or audio description, but sometimes I can just enjoy the audio and get a lot out of it too, especially with TV shows with like funny dialogue and such, like Bob's Burgers or Holliston or stuff like that. It's great to get the visuals description as well, like the visual description in addition to the dialogue, but a lot of the time the dialogue stands on its own, and I can really find myself enjoying it with or without description. And I think that's my top 10, yeah?
Oh, one more.
Oh, we do have one more.
Well, one more of the top 10.
Oh, one more top 10. Okay, that was number 9. All right, so the 10th of the top 10. What do we have?
What are the stupidest things people have said or done related to your blindness?
Okay, what are the stupidest things people have said or done relating to blindness? So that's a good one. I would say the top one is, of course, the whole, oh, you can't really be blind if you're using the internet one. That one's pretty consistently dumb, mostly because it takes a quick Google search to figure it out. Another one is, let's see here. Another one is kind of the assumption that, like, if I'm blind, there must be other issues that I have, like, mentally speaking. So, like, talking really slow or talking to other people for me. Like, when we go to a restaurant, oh, what would he like to eat? It's like, well, why don't you ask him? I bet he knows. That's a big one for me. That one, if you want to bug me, that's a quick way to bug the crap out of me. I think those are some of the dumbest things people will do regularly. You're just kind of assuming less of me than is completely reasonable. It's like my eyes don't work. My brain is 100% good to go. I mean, it's no weirder than anybody else's. So there's that. I think those are probably some of the biggest ones. Like, just don't assume that I can do less than a person just because my eyes are kind of fucked up. So yeah, that's my top 10 frequently asked questions about blindness. But luckily, I think we do have a bonus question loaded up, don't we? What's our bonus question?
We sure do, and that is, what do you see when you dream?
Oh, okay, bonus question. That's a tough one. What do I see when I dream? I don't know how I'd describe exactly. What do I see when I dream?
I have 2 feet that need scrubbing. And make sure you get in between the toes.
Oh my, how lewd. Oh my, how lewd.
Oh my, how lewd.
Oh, got any more questions? No? I didn't think so.